Hello again. So these are a little bit more in-depth look. So with the reading books, what we try and do is match it up to the children's current level of ability. So these books are really good if your child needs a bit more support with their speech and language development, particularly expressive language. So it's really important that children can express themselves well, that they can explain things, that they can focus and listen. So these books are really good because it takes away the pressure of reading with words. So this is Kipper, and I'll send out a sheet with all the characters on so you can get to know them. And this is a book all about Kipper's first day in school. Oh no. Well, I'm glad we didn't see much of this last week and ongoing. There's Kip, he doesn't want to go to school. So the idea is that you are looking at these books together at home and you're encouraging really good language. Oh, what's Kipper doing? Why is his hand there? So you can put on voices. Mom, I don't want to go to school. I want to come home with you. So you're encouraging good habits, good communication habits, good imagination. What's his teacher doing? The teacher saying, oh, welcome Kipper, come to school. Teddy's come to meet you. All your friends are really excited to see you. And what Mum would be doing, Mum would be trying to stay nice and calm and encourage him. So these books are really nice, great illustrations, lots to talk about. There's always little weird random items that you can talk about. Oh, what's that doing there? It's almost like a clown shoe. So there's plenty of things for you to talk about there. There's 6 different titles in these books. What we tend to do with these books is we keep them for a couple of days, because as an adult you can read something quite quickly and understand it, but children, especially when they first start learning how to read, they need lots of practice. They need to become familiar with texts, and keep them for a few days will help them to do that. So traditionally what we do is we have the text from Monday to Thursday, Thursday to Monday, so they have a good chunk of time. We haven't sent home reading books home for a while in reception because of the pandemic. Things weren't allowed to be sent out for a long while, so it's going to just take us a little bit of time just to get used to this new system of learning. But I think because the children are starting back in school full time tomorrow, we can start it from Monday. So if you start bringing your book bags in, I know some of you already have been doing that, and I know you haven't been coming back with books in, so I apologise for that, but I wanted to make this video first to explain things. So here's another book, Look Out. Again, no words in it, but loads to talk about, really good language. And if you do at home, we'll listen to your child in school as well, and we can sit with them and listen to these books. Again, we've got some systems in place that we can safely sit next to your child and listen to them read without worrying about us passing anything onto the child, or the child passing anything onto the staff. We've got visors, we've got special screens that we can use, so don't worry about that. So there's Kipper proudly putting on his helmet, about to go on his trike. And how do we know it's a trike? Well, we can count the wheels. 1, 2, 3. It's a tricycle, not a bicycle. What's Mum doing? She's mowing the lawn. Very noisy. And from that calm start, chaos ensues. Look at all this. Wow, what are you doing? Watch out! So you can put on loads of great voices, really encourage the children to use their imagination in languages. So there's 6 different titles of that. These ones are good as well. These are, again, quite basic, but some of these words are quite difficult, but I'm going to explain how we teach the children how to read at the moment. But if you get in these books, what I'd like to see adults do is a case of my turn, your turn. So my turn, who is it? And then your turn, who is it? So you can talk about capital letters, you can talk about question marks. Get them used to books by talking about how books work. So we're going to open the page up. This one's a little bit battered. Some of them aren't in the best condition, I'm sorry to say. So we can talk about the words, talk about the pictures and the words. So you've got 1, 2, 3 words, and you've got finger spaces in between the words. That helps you to learn how to read the words clearly. Because if all the letters are bunched up, you wouldn't be able to read them. So that's an important skill that the children need to learn when they start to write as well. So it's a good habit to teach them, oh look, the spaces in between the words, so we can read them easily. We need that when we write words as well. So this is a story with Biff, Chip and Kipper in, and maybe some other characters. Who is it? So the adult would read that first. Mum, dad, auntie and uncle, older brothers and sisters, nan, granddad. It's a lovely thing to do. Probably my favourite thing to do when I get home is read books with my little girl. She's not even 1 yet, and she just loves them. She'll sit on my knee, sit next to me, and we read them for ages. And you can just see how much it's developing already. So, who is it? Okay, your turn now. Who is it? So you're getting them used to reading from left to right. You're getting them used to pointing to words and saying them. Really good habits, really good skills. A big part of reading is memory. So already you teach them to remember things and to understand it. And you can talk about what you can say. Oh, where do you think they are? Are they inside? Are they outside? What's this? How do you know it's his shadow? What's the clues? So there's loads of language that you can get out of these books. And look, they're only very simple words. You can talk about the capital letters. Biff, a capital B, because when we write people's names, we use capital letters. Biff and Chip. So there's loads of stuff like that you can look at. There. Again, 6 titles of these. Got floppy, saying things. Oh, floppy! So you can use lots of good expression, talk about exclamation marks. So you teach them lots of complex skills quite quickly and in an exciting way. Like this one as well. 6 in a bed. It's quite repetitive. Mum and Dad. Your turn. Mum and Dad. Sorry for my terrible 4 or 5 year old voice there, but just giving you an idea. Mum, Kipper and Dad, so you can see how more characters are being introduced all the time, and there's more for them to read and more for them to remember. But great practice, great memory work. Good readers need good memories. Good learners need good memories. If you want to learn something, you need to be able to remember information. So if your child can't remember things, that's definitely a skill that we need to encourage, isn't it? Mum, Kipper, Dad and Chip. Whoa, look at all this. Biff, Mum, Kipper, Dad, Chip. Your turn. So there's so much you can get out of these things. And Floppy. The children love these books, and I think you'll love reading them with them. It's a great way to learn how to read these reading schemes, because it's familiar characters, the characters that they will grow up with in the early part of school. These books are a bit more difficult, but again, if you teach the good habits, they'll learn how to do it. Dad had a trumpet. Now it's your turn. Dad had a trumpet. So again, you can talk about finger spaces. You can talk about what the children do. Or they're peeking around the corner. Dad's making a racket on the trumpet. He's reading some sheet music. These might be things that your children haven't seen before, so it's nice things you can experience and share with them. Chip had a drum. Your turn. Chip had a drum. So we'll do this in school. We'll send them home, and you can do it at home, and you'll quickly learn that the children love these books and love to read. And even though they're not reading the words independently at the moment, it's a kind of case of my turn, your turn. It will build up their sight vocabulary. They need to learn some words by sight. I'm going to talk a bit more about how we teach reading independently soon, but I think these are a great book to introduce the children to holding books at home, to pointing to words, to saying words, and it will encourage good habits, which will help them when they do start to learn independently. But you can see these books are a bit harder, the words are longer, there's more sentences, but again, you can start to teach them. Everyone went to the park. Do you like going to the park? So, you can get lots of good language out of there. Celebrate your experiences together. You take your children to wonderful places, I'm sure. Talk about it, especially if they come up in these books. We've been there. What did you do? What did you like about it when you went to the park? What's your favourite thing to go on? Loads of good language-rich experiences. Let's make that happen. Because if children are good communicators, they are good learners, and they're going to do really well in school. So that's what we all want, isn't it? We want the best for your children. Chip went on the slide. Chip went on the slide. Wow! We've got a slide. So there's a couple of those there. This one's a good one as well, fancy dress. I'm not going to go on for ages of all these because we'll be here all day, and I know that your time's precious. But this is just a quick overview of the next kind of stages. So once they've got through those books, we will quickly start to teach your children these kinds of sounds. So they did touch on this on nursery, but we will be starting it from scratch. So this is a scheme called read writing. So this is what's called speed sound set 1. So there's quite a lot of them, over 30. The first one that we teach the children is this one. It's So we teach the pure letter sound, and it's a picture of a girl called Maisie. We teach them the sound. It's a stretchy sound, and we teach them how to write the sound. Down Maisie, over the mountains. So we teach them straight away how to sound out, which will help them to read words, and we teach them how to write it, which will help them to spell words as they learn how to be independent writers. And the idea is, once they learn a few of these sounds, so the first set is st, and once they start to build them up, the idea is that they can learn to blend the sounds together. So this is what's called a green word, because if they know the sounds, if they've learned them and they can remember them, they can blend the sounds. So these are called sound buttons, v, et, vet. So if they can remember what v looks like, what et looks like, t looks like, they can say v, et, and read vet all by themselves. So I realise that's different than these books when I'm asking you to point to the words and say them, my turn, your turn. But it all fits together because that's how we teach them how to do it, and that kind of two different ways of teaching reading. So you teach them how to learn individual sounds and blend them together alongside learning words as a whole unit is really important as a reader. That's the skills that you need, because some words are red words. So say if you have a word like you, if you say y or it won't say you. If you have a word like the, and you say t, or it doesn't say the. So some words you have to stop, like a red light, and think about them. So that's why it's important that that children do learn to learn words by sight as well as blending them out. So these are the first set of the tricky words that we'll be learning. You can see it like it's a Halloween vibe, because that's usually around the time that the children are starting to use these words. The, go, I, to, into, and no. And I will send home resources that you can practice that at home with. But I love it once the children build up some phonic knowledge, because then we can start to send these books home. So these are the phonics books, so it's special. So when your children start sending these home, you should be really, really proud, because it's a great moment. So because what instead of you saying my turn, your turn, it's straight away, it's going to be their turn. Pop, pop. So you, by this point, you will have seen words like kipper in lots of these books already. So they've got a knowledge of those words already. Kipper, tips. Kipper tips it. Kipper tips it, itten. Kipper tips it in. Tip it in. So I will talk about these more when your children start to take these books home. And I have made videos in the past, and I'll make another one especially for you guys. But you can see there's quite long sentences in it, but they've got tricky words. And when they learn these tricky words, it makes the flow of their reading much, much better. So look at this one, for example. Put it, itten, put it in the pan, put it in the pan. And you're probably thinking, why are you reading it back like that? Why are you saying like the words each time? Because it's quite heavy on memory, this. When the children learn how to read independently and blending sounds independently, it's heavy on the memory. So I'm trying to teach them good memory skills to retain and comprehend the information that they're reading. Complex stuff, isn't it, for 4 and 5 year olds? But we're going to help them. And with your help, they're going to be brilliant. This is the last book in this set. You can just see the progression here. You can see some of the long sentences that are in it. So you can see here, quite long sentences. But I think we're going to have a great time learning how to read and write together. And we'll talk more about these things as we go on. Well, thanks very much for watching, because I know that was quite a long video. But I hope it's going to be useful. You know, I can't see it at the moment face to face. I don't know what's going to happen with parents even at the moment. So I'm going to keep on doing stuff like this to help you, to help us, and to help your children, most importantly of all. Okay, all the best. Any questions, send me an email or leave a message on the school phone number, and I'll get back in touch with you as soon as possible. Okay, all the best. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.